Hello everyone, I'm Veronica Swanstrom, your positive psychology and mindfulness coach. And today I'm here with a new episode. This one is about mindfulness, my other coaching specialty. If you feel you need coaching, send me an email and I will be delighted to meet you online and see how I can be of help to you. You will find my emails in the description box down below. So mindfulness is a huge subject, and there are so many things to say about this, but I will try to include here just the basics. And I will come back with more videos on the subject, different aspects of mindfulness. In short, mindfulness is an attitude of intentional attention on the present moment, and this attention can be oriented internally on our thoughts, emotions, sensations, or externally on sounds, smells, and any event that happens outside of us. In the same time, mindfulness is a meditation practice. I won't go into its history now. You can find that if you go on Wikipedia. Anyway, the awareness, that attitude of intentional attention together with the meditation practice, these two are formal ways of practicing mindfulness. There are also informal ways, and we will get to that later in the video. The idea is, like with everything else, once we transform mindfulness into a habit, or let's say even a ritual, it will help us both from a mental point of view, mental health point of view, but also emotionally, and implicitly from a physical health perspective. And yes, we can feel the results when we have managed to transform it into a ritual. That is because our brain needs to be worked just like our muscles. This characteristic of our brain is called neuroplasticity, and research says that our brain keeps its plasticity for as long as we work it out, no matter how old we are. Just like going to the gym, you won't see results from the first days, just the same way as you won't be able to lift heavy from the first days. Research recommends, though, to start slowly with 3, 4, 5 minutes per day. And in the first month, it's important to do it daily so that our brain has the time to form the neural connections needed to transform any new activity into a new habit. And at this point, once this has happened, you got yourself a precious self-care ritual, because meditation is a form of deep self-care. Among others, the benefits of practicing mindfulness are being aware that our mind is dominated by our thoughts in the beginning, before it becomes a ritual. Being aware of the nature of these thoughts, positive or negative, as they happen. Being aware that our thoughts are just like clouds on the sky. They come and they go. Actually, they don't stay more than 90 seconds in our mind. Knowing that when we are not aware of our thoughts, we basically identify ourselves with them, and this is how they dominate us. Being able to detach ourselves from our own thoughts and emotions, to look at them as if they would belong to a friend. Mindfulness will also increase our emotional intelligence. A high IQ is not enough to have a fulfilled life. For that, intellectual intelligence has to be paired with a high enough emotional intelligence. You can check out my previous episode about social intelligence, where I touch a bit on emotional intelligence. Here are some of the effects that mindfulness meditation has on our health, both mental and physical. It decreases depression, stress, and anxiety. It reduces rumination. It brings a greater feeling of calm. It boosts our working memory and focus. It leads to better sleep. It reduces chronic pain. It can decrease blood pressure. It improves our immunity. Our brain has a massive network, has 7 networks, but one of them, it's a massive one, and it's called the default mode network, or DMN, which is what keeps us in that familiar state of automatic pilot. And this network is active when the brain is at wakeful rest, meaning we don't sleep, but we are not actively focused on any specific task either. This network is active when we are mind wandering and thinking about us, ourselves, others, remembering the past, planning for the future. And that's when thoughts like, such a pity I didn't act differently in a certain situation from the past. I bet I would have been much better off now. Or, what if I fail at the interview next week? My family really depends on a higher income. Research shows that such thoughts invade our mind half of our time. And once mindfulness has become a habit, we'll realize much quicker that we are having this type of thoughts, and we can then bring ourselves back into the here and now with kindness and self-compassion without criticizing ourselves. That's another very important component that we will talk about in one of the future videos. Self-compassion. One simple way to get back into the here and now is to use our senses. If we feel that, okay, our thoughts are running wild, we notice, and then we just take a very simple break, take a deep breath, always start with a deep breath, and then we start by looking around. Yes, are we indoors or outdoors? How does the immediate environment look? Are there people around us or with us? What colors do we see? Do we smell? Are there any smells or perfumes? What touches my body right here and now? Is there a breeze or something else? The clothes, of course. What sounds can I hear? Is it the traffic or something closer? This means using our awareness. The other way of practicing mindfulness, also formally, just like awareness, is when we meditate. In the mindfulness meditation, we always use an object of focus, and that can be our breath. And we know that we can always return to our breath because it's something that we do even when we sleep, so it's always there with us. As we pay attention to our breath, we learn to notice that our mind wanders away. We will see that. We said earlier that that's what it does half of the time, which, like I said, it's inevitable. Thing is that once we notice that our mind has wandered away, we gently bring our attention back to our breath. And of course, next time it does that, we do the same. The simple exercise of noticing first and then bringing our attention back builds the muscles of our attention and mindfulness. We were talking about emotional intelligence a bit earlier. As we know, our emotions are generated by our thoughts. And we can imagine what kind of emotions will be generated by regrets or worries. Regrets about the past or worries about the future. Difficult emotions are a part of life. We can't escape them and we shouldn't even try to. It's not healthy. It's normal to feel sadness or anger or confusion or frustration. Mindfulness practice helps us identify and manage our emotions and reduce our reactivity to them. But there are also informal ways to practice mindfulness. Practicing our hobbies is one of them. Then our brain is 100% focused on what we are doing with our hands, most usually. Either it's gardening or playing piano or scrapbooking, like in my case. We use our hands a lot. And we are therefore 100% in the present moment, in the here and now. But except our hobbies, we can use mindfulness informally in other ways as well. When taking our dog for a walk, for example, we can stop to pay attention to the trees, the leaves, the grass, the flowers. No matter the season, we can really breathe in deeply and see what we can feel in the air. Is the air dry? Is it cold? Is anyone around cooking or baking? And if so, what? We can, of course, engage and play with our dog, since we are out with it anyway. The benefits will be on both sides, that's for sure. A very important time to be in the here and now is when we eat. We can try and see if it's possible for us to focus on enjoying what we have on the plate before we start eating. Yes, we can see if we can enjoy the colors on the plate, the different textures, the different shapes, then the aromas. And then, as we start eating, we can see if we can think of the whole chain that brought that food onto our plate. From the veggies that have been cultivated and watered both by nature and by the farmers, to the driver who transported them to the store, to the worker who placed them on the shelves and tagged them. All these efforts will make us appreciate our food much more. But in the same time, as we are eating, something very important for our health happens. When we eat mindfully, we eat slower. And this will give our brain the time to give us the signal that we reach the state of fullness. By contrast, when we eat quickly, the brain doesn't have the time to realize we are full, and therefore we will eat more than we need to. This is it for today. I hope it was of real use to you, and if you feel that you need coaching, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. If you want to find out about your character strengths, check the link in the description box down below. There is a link to the Pennsylvania State University where you, with a test of 240 questions that you can take, and in 20 to 30 minutes you will also have the results. Save the results, and when you are ready to put those character strengths to work for you, get in touch with me. Thank you for watching, and if you like my content, please don't hesitate to like, share, subscribe with your tribe, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.